Steve Jobs once said,
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much. But life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it, you can influence it, you can build your own things that other people can use.
when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world. But that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it, you can influence it, you can build your own things that other people can use. These words capture the essence of how Steve Jobs lived his life. Never accepting things as they were, always believing in his ability to reshape the world around him. This mindset is woven into every major chapter of his life, from his early curiosity as a child to his revolutionary impact on technology and culture. Steve Jobs' life wasn't just about the creation of Apple. It was a narrative of resilience, vision, and relentless pursuit of perfection. Born in 1955 in San Francisco, Steve was adopted as a baby by a modest couple, Paul and Clara Jobs. This early shift in his life seemed to mirror the shifts he would later bring to the world. His childhood was marked by a curiosity that set him apart from other kids. He wasn't satisfied with just accepting things as they were. He always wanted to see what was behind the curtain. This deep desire to explore, to understand the why, shaped his mindset forever. As a teenager, Jobs' interest in electronics and design began to bloom. He met Steve Wozniak, and from their shared passion for innovation, the foundation of Apple was laid. But nothing about his journey was smooth. Dropping out of Reed College, he took a leap into the unknown. He didn't follow a traditional path because he never believed in one. For him, the world was not about following rules but about bending them. And then came Apple. In 1976, in his parents' garage, Steve Jobs co-founded a company that would go on to redefine how we see technology. But it wasn't just about building a company. It was about creating something that people would fall in love with. From the Macintosh in 1984, which made personal computing intuitive and human-centered, to the iPod, which revolutionized music, every creation carried Jobs' unique imprint of simplicity, beauty, and innovation. But his journey wasn't without hardship. After an internal power struggle in 1985, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple. Imagine building something with all your heart, only to be thrown out of it. Most people would have given up. Not Jobs. He viewed this moment as an opportunity. He once said, "I didn't see it then, but being fired from Apple was the best thing that could have happened to me."
I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
And that's where we learn one of the most powerful lessons from his life. Setbacks aren't dead ends. Instead, they're the foundation for your comeback, for your reinvention. During his time away from Apple, Jobs didn't sit still. He founded Next, a company that focused on creating advanced computer systems. While Next didn't gain massive commercial success, it laid the groundwork for his return to Apple. But something else happened during this period. He acquired Pixar, a small animation studio, and transformed it into one of the most successful film studios of all time. Pixar's success wasn't just about technology. It was about storytelling, about connecting with the audience on an emotional level. This was something Steve Jobs deeply understood. Whether it was a computer or a movie, it had to touch people's hearts. When Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, the company was struggling. But he didn't just bring it back to life, he transformed it. His vision was always about making technology feel seamless, like magic. And that's how he approached the creation of the iPhone in 2007. It wasn't just a phone, it was a revolution in how we communicate, entertain, and work. Steve Jobs had this rare ability to predict what people wanted before they even knew it themselves. He didn't follow market research, he followed his intuition. That's another lesson from his life. Trust your vision, even when no one else sees it. One of the most touching parts of his story was his battle with cancer. In 2004, Jobs was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Despite the illness, he continued working, pushing himself to his limits. His 2005 Stanford commencement speech stands as one of the most inspirational messages ever delivered. In that speech, he told the world,
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life.
"Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." That message resonates deeply. He understood that every moment counts, and he lived his life with that intensity. It's a lesson we can all take to heart. Time is precious. Use it wisely. Another profound idea from Jobs was his obsession with simplicity. He believed that the most complicated problems could be solved with the simplest solutions. It was evident in every product Apple released. Whether it was the clean, intuitive interface of the iPhone or the minimalistic design of the MacBook, simplicity was at the core of his vision. This is something we can apply in business and life. Don't overcomplicate things. Focus on the essentials, strip away the unnecessary, and what you're left with is something pure, something impactful. In business, Steve Jobs taught us the power of passion and focus. He wasn't motivated by money. He was driven by the desire to create something meaningful. And that's a lesson that resonates deeply. Whatever you're doing in your business, whether you're just starting or you've been at it for years, never lose sight of why you started. Don't chase trends or short-term gains. Instead, focus on building something that will last, something that will change the world. Perhaps the most enduring lesson we can learn from Steve Jobs is to stay hungry, stay foolish.
Stay hungry, stay foolish.
This phrase, which he quoted from the Whole Earth catalog, became his mantra. It's about never being satisfied with where you are and always striving for more. It's about maintaining a sense of curiosity and wonder, no matter how much success you achieve. This mindset is essential for anyone wanting to build something great, to create lasting impact in their life or business. In reflecting on Steve Jobs' life, we can't help but feel a deep emotional connection. His story isn't just one of technological innovation. It's a story of resilience, vision, and passion. It reminds us that even the greatest achievements come with challenges, but those challenges shape us into something even greater. It shows us that failure is not the opposite of success, but a part of it. And it inspires us to pursue our dreams with relentless focus, to trust in our vision, and to never stop learning, growing, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. In business and life, and in every endeavor, we can take these lessons from Jobs and apply them. We can push through failure, trust our intuition, simplify our processes, and always stay hungry for more. Because, as Steve Jobs showed us, those who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits. The rebels. The troublemakers. The round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much. But life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it, you can influence it, you can build your own things that other people can use.
Good evening. I'm Steve Jobs from Apple Computer. We're very glad to be here tonight.
I think you always had to be a little different to buy an Apple computer. And I think you still have to think differently to buy an Apple computer. And I think the people that do buy them, they are the people that are not just out to get a job done, they're out to change the world.
What a computer is to me is it's the most remarkable tool that we've ever come up with. And it's the equivalent of a bicycle for our minds.
This is iMac. The whole thing is translucent. You can see into it. It's so cool. Pleased to announce today that I'm going to drop the interim title.
We used to stand at the intersection of technology and humanity and to make something for people that want to bring this into their lives and use it for things that make them more creative, not just make them more productive.
This amazing little device holds 1,000 songs, and it goes right in my pocket. An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? And we are calling it iPhone. We have a chance, if we stay focused and choose wisely, to really continue to impact people's lives in some small way for the better. There's an old Wayne Gretzky quote that I love. I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. And we've always tried to do that at Apple, since the very, very beginning. And we always will. So thank you very, very much for being part of this.